Hey, everybody, OGG, Overt Go Green. How's it going? I'm good. Actually, I'm great. Got another deck tech for you, but before we get to the deck, 3 questions for you. Do you like dwarves? Do you like legendary creatures? And do you like equipment? If you answered yes to all these questions, this deck is for you. And let's see what we got here. I call this deck Bruenor equipment. So this deck here is legal in Forgotten Realms Standard, and it's all over the place, as you can see. But it works, as you will see in the gameplay matches, hopefully. So let's just go over the cards, right? At 1 drop, we got 2 Shadowspear. Great piece of equipment. Does all these things, as you can see it scrolling by there. I'm only going to go over exactly what the new cards do. We got 3 leather armor, cost 1. Equips for 0, which is key. An equipped creature gets +0/+1 and has ward 1. Really good piece of equipment. We got 4 Fervent Champion. Not only is he just a great aggro card, and not only is he 2018 World Champ Javier Dominguez, he's actually a great target for your equipment. We got 1 Boots of Speed, strictly better than the Glass Slipper. So equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste. Equipped 1, cast it for a red mana. Pretty good piece of equipment they have sitting out on the table. The threat of something coming down with haste is real. At 2 drop, we have Gold Vein Pick. Fantastic piece of equipment. Equip only 1. And it makes a treasure whenever you deal combat damage to a player. Fantastic. Cowl the Forge Master, one of our legendary dwarves. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, comes back to your hand. And creature tokens you control that are enchanted or equipped, you get +1/+1. That second ability almost never comes up. It's that first one where he's bouncing stuff around to save maybe a Magda. Right? Magda, Brazen Outlaw, she does all the things. All of them. Dwarf Lord, kinda. But more importantly, she is a absolute monster that needs to be dealt with. And her making treasures can really ramp you, because you need the mana for all these equip costs. So, Goblin Morningstar, we got 1 copy of Goblin Morningstar. This could be higher. It +1/+0 and trample. The trample part of this card is extremely relevant. It does equip for red 1, and when it enters the battlefield, has a 50-50 chance to make a 1/1 goblin, or even better, make a 2/1 goblin with trample, because this will be equipped to it. So at 3 drop, we have 2 Akiri. Oh wait, I missed some at 2 drop. 2 drop, we got 2 Rimrock Knight, another dwarf boy to help Magda make treasure. And the little buff is nice. Kyle is also a dwarf. We got 1 fighter class. This is a tutor for an equipment. So, and if you have nothing else to do, giving everything, reducing your activated cost by 2 to equip equipment is super relevant when suddenly everything costs free to move around, right? And I've never ever used a level 3 ability. I use it as a 2-mana tutor often. Maul of the Skyclaves, we've got 1 copy. Everyone knows what it does. +2/+2, flying, first strike. Comes into play equipping something, super relevant. Plate Armor, love this card. This card probably could be more than a 1 of here. Equipped creature gets +3/+3 and ward 1. Equip 3, however, this ability costs 1 less to activate for each other equipment you control. And since we're playing so many other equipments, a lot of times this only costs 1 to equip, which is crazy good. Bearded Axe. You get, I put 1 in here. Honestly, you could drop Bearded Axe down to, this also gives a lot of +1/+1s, but you could probably put this down to 0 and maybe make this, I don't know. I like having 1 Bearded Axe and 1 Dwarven Hammer. 1 Dwarven Hammer for 5 mana makes a 2/1 dwarf with +3/+0 and trample, because this is equipped to him. Otherwise, it's just a +3/+0 and trample. The equip cost only being just 3 colorless is nice because it can get knocked way down with the fighter level 2 fighter class ability. Super nice. And then we got 2 Akiri. This is our card draw and creature protection engine. And 3 for a 3/3 is acceptable. At 4 mana, we got Helvar, God of Battle. We got 2 of them. Helvar, the sword is nice, right? It's nice, but his ability, his God side is really good. Anything equipped has double strike. At the beginning of any combat, you can move an equipment attached to a creature you control to him or to any other creature. But this is great to cast him and then move over Boots of Speed to him for free. Or if you're worried about like getting burned or something, move over leather armor or plate armor onto him, make him a 7/7 with Ward 1. Very, very good. Just a great, and he has double strike. I mean, really, really an all-star in the deck. 1 Torolf, because I had one and I wanted to put him in there. His hammer isn't the best side, but the 5/4 Trampler is very good. And then I got 3 Bruenor, right? And the deck works. This is the card that I think puts red-white equipment over the top. Is Bruenor Battlehammer. So he's another legendary dwarf. White, red, 2. And each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it. And you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate each turn. Keep in mind, this makes an equip cost literally 0. So for example, it makes Maul the Skyclave go down to equip cost 0. Right? From white 2 to 0. Okay? Or Dwarven Hammer, which is 3, down to 0. Or even Helvar, white 1, maybe you don't want to spend the colored mana, right? He is so good. The fact he is a 5/3, you can move over, you can, if you already had a Boots of Speed out, you can equip Boots of Speed to him at 0. He gets his own buff, so Boots of Speed would make him an 8/3 haste. Something that has 2 or 3 pieces of equipment, or even a trample piece of equipment, or if it's Helvar, I mean, just ridiculous. The double strike trample is so ridiculous, and the +2/+0 per equipment is so ridiculous. Just a unbelievable stud of a card. Try him out. You'll see him in the gameplay videos. This guy wins games out of nowhere. Nahiri over here. One Nahiri. I want to say I use her -2, but I never have. The +1 is nice to make a 1/1 and equip, attach an equipment you control to it. So you throw on plate armor and turn your 1/1 into a 4/4 Ward 1, which is, nothing to sneeze at. The -3, let's say you have 2/3 equipment out, you're killing their biggest creature. So, not terrible. 3 Ember Cleave, because it is the current best piece of equipment out there. We all know what Ember Cleave does. It wins games. And then here we got 3 Snarls, 3 Needle Verge Pathway, 2 Axeguard Armory, which goes and fetches an equipment, and then 7 Plains, 7 Mountains, for a whopping total of 22 land. The treasure from Goldvein Pick and Magda usually kind of supports the mana needs of the deck. And I really haven't had much mana problems with it. If you have an extra Snarl or an extra Needle Verge, you maybe can drop down Axeguard to 1, up these as appropriate as you see fit. Now, I know, and that's the deck. And obviously, if you have comments, questions, want to make suggestions, changes you would make, things you like, don't like, let me know in the comments. But for those of you that are playing the standard 2022, what changes would I make to play this deck in standard 2022? Well, what cards do we need to get rid of, right? We need to get rid of Fervent Champion. Okay, he's going to rotate away. That's an easy replacement. 4 Fireblade Charger stays legal, right? If it's equipped, it gets haste. When it dies, it deals damage to its power. A lot of our equipment can power him up very, very quickly. Leather armor gives him haste out of nowhere for 0 mana. So this card is just a very acceptable replacement for Fervent Champion. 2 Shadowspear are gone. So you want to put in 2 other pieces of equipment. I recommend putting in 1 more plate armor and 1 more gold vein pick in place of the 2 Shadowspears that go away. It is rough to lose Shadowspear, but I think those are the best replacements for it. And then you obviously lose 3 Ember Cleave. To lose the 3 Ember Cleave, I would put 3 more Maul of the Skyclaves. I think Maul of the Skyclaves is that good. That you can put 3 more. And if you really don't want to put 3 more, put 2 more Maul of the Skyclave and another Dwarven Hammer, or maybe another Goblin Morningstar. But I think this deck, like I said, it seems like it's all over the place with its one-ofs. A lot of these one-ofs are situational that I can go fetch with Fighter Class or with Axguard Armory. So I have ways to tutor these one-ofs, these answer cards, or the 1 equipment I need, or Nahiri can dig for them. So it is totally possible to use this deck. This deck when you see it in play, some of the best play lines involve turn 1 leather armor, turn 2 Magda, equip leather armor. Because it gives her ward 1, she can't get stomped that turn, right? So, like on your opponent's turn 2, if you're on the play, your opponent can't stomp her, which is huge. She gets 1 attack in that gives her the treasure to maybe bring down another piece of equipment, like Maul the Skyclaves, and just puts her out of range altogether from it, or maybe plate armor, or almost any of these equipments. Maybe it brings down a Kiri. Maybe it brings down Kal, so if she does die, she just goes back to your hand. So there's a lot of different lines that result in this being an extremely, extremely, extremely protective deck. But like I said, mention in the comments if you'd like to see something, or if you have any suggestions for a standard 2022 besides the changes I said I would make. Otherwise, like I said, everything here stays. So it actually works out pretty well. It's very minor changes. Yeah, let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the gameplay matches. This is OGG. Out!